Sure.
Hello again, everybody. I am Razim, and we are back. I am doing some PowerWash Simulator while we're discussing a couple of things that came up during our Guild Tails game. Um, but it's just... I understand it's definitely got the... So the dancer class had to fill in those that are tuning in just now or watching this on YouTube. One of our players, Neon here, is playing as a dancer, and there's concerns about it possibly being broken. I have concerns specifically. I don't know about others, but I will take it that I have concerns. And apparently things already broke. God damn it. Oh, wait, no. Okay, it is
Well,
working. Why
you're
am I
good with
getting no
computers,
audio?
right? I might need a hand.
What?
My laptop has updated and I've lost all of my files.
I think that deserves priority here.
Um,
Uh,
hey there, Senri. I'm doing alright. And yourself? Right now I'm trying to figure out why I have no audio coming through.
I logged in with my same details after a restart to reconnect my headset, and for the desktop is different. I've lost a bunch of my icons. My files are all folder is empty.
And who were you asking for help from?
I was asking Woe or the people or the room in general, but I think Woe might have just crashed.
Okay, we are getting absolutely no audio here. Coming from the laptop itself.
Should we see your desktop?
Mine?
Yes.
My laptop's fine. I don't have anything bad on it.
Okay.
I very specifically keep my laptop, safe.
Open restore system security.
Alright, well, I'm going to have to attempt something else here. One moment. I might as well pause the recording.
And clean of all of my settings and apps and several, including Discord, is now missing from my files. And my files and downloads are empty.
And yet, clearly you are on Discord.
I am on Discord on the different device, on the borrowed device.
And on the white device, is there any indication, looking at devices and drives, that it's
also
taking up as any? Oh, yeah.
Real quick for Chris, yes, I have a lot of games. Over 1,600 games on my Steam alone. Let alone other accounts and stuff that I have. Just, But yeah, carry on.
I just got a pop-up that said Windows, we are adding new things. Will take a few minutes. What was that about files?
I was just gonna ask if, look, do you remember about how full your hard disk was when you last?
It was fairly empty. I'd actually cleared a lot of stuff out of it to help deal with to stop it from overloading.
Okay,
I
was
had a
just gonna ask
few.
in case you might be able to recognize if there were still files present on the hard disk or not.
Going through the. I don't know how to do that, but going through the documents, downloads, pictures, etc. It just says this folder is empty on all of them.
Let's see.
PC.
I'll have to take a moment to actually look it up because I'm.
What the
So
fuck? It's 600. It's still got the same amount of file stuff being used. Where's all that gone?
So that's what I was going to say is I'm going to go ahead and try to refresh myself on it. When my
I'm sorry to do
computer,
this right before work.
oh, no worries. But from what I remember, I had one time when my computer was giving out. I took out the hard disks and all that. I wiped my system hard disk and was able to recover my own personal files by, what was it? There was a change of permissions I did. So let me see if I can find that.
Thank you for the head pats, SK. Oh boy, looks like I'm playing hard mode the rest of this map. Oh boy.
Dude.
I'm not gonna be able to see any dirt or anything. Definitely need to make sure that I finish maps before moving. Oh wait, now it's giving it to me. Cool.
That's me on phones.
I am rather tired today myself and haven't heard of this particular issue. Otherwise, I'd offer some help there. Also, Neon, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So, a big part of what helps balance the dancer is the concept that battles are three round activities as a whole.
I'm not. I'm not looking to completely nerf your character or anything. I may not even want to make any adjustments at all. I just want to look at it myself because it sounds broken, but it may not be by the rules.
What would you like to know about the dancer?
Oh, they've got
Well,
the file, so they're looking over it now.
What was that last time?
Sorry, I said that you had the file and we're looking over it now.
Well, not right now, but I can later.
Oh, right. Fair.
Right now, I'm streaming still. Balancing is just something very important to me, myself. It's at the core of basically everything I do in games. And so that's why I want to look it over for myself, see what's going, how it all functions. I know most classes don't have much that takes advantage of the bonus action.
Yeah, well, at least you mean continuously.
What do you mean?
All classes have something that takes advantage of the bonus action, but very few have something they can do every turn.
Exactly.
That would be rogues, monks spend something, but they end up with so much ki they can, like, burn it.
It's like you've got so much movement speed, you've got so many things you can do in your turns. No, you're not really attacking yourself, which is something to consider. But I do hope you can at least understand why this is sounding like, holy crap, what the hell is going on?
Because there's no precedent.
Yeah, there's nothing to compare it to. There's nothing like... Yeah, the barbarian has a lot of movement speed, but it's balanced out by, you know, lack of armor and such. It's balanced out with things, and...
It can be balanced out by lack of armor, but there are situations where a barbarian can at least get up to 20 or higher armor. It's more balanced by the fact that they don't do as much damage as you think they do.
That too.
Yeah, like they get a bonus damage, but they only make 2 attacks, and you better hope you hit both.
Yeah. And even then, the speed bonus that they get... The speed bonus that you get is god freaking insane.
Well,
like, you are speed incarnate, it seems.
Yeah, it's because I'm a bunny, so I get 5 feet bonus movement.
That's not all it.
Yeah, it's that has very little to do with it.
You're underselling the rest of it. That is literally one extra tile, while you are doing 3 times us, 4 times us. In one case.
I know.
And,
I'm getting to it.
Nim himself, he's a quadruped, so he's got 40 movement speed. And yet you still leave him in the absolute dust. Cray is a monk, and monks have increased movement speed, and you leave him in the dust.
Except when he teleports.
I don't really count teleporting in this. I am talking straight movement speed.
Yeah. I also, because I'm a 4th level dancer, I get an extra 10 feet of movement speed. And because I'm a 9th level dancer, I get an additional 10 feet. So that's how I got 55. And then
you are moving a lot more than just 55.
Yes, and then I get flares, which can add another, if I were to do the perfect combination, gets me another 45. Though it's usually better for me to dash and then use an extra 15.
Yeah, this is...
fast. It's monk fast.
It's faster than monk.
I thought monks get a little faster by this point.
I mean, you were moving a lot more than 55 feet.
Oh, you're right. Monks only match my movement speed at level 10. So I get it 1 level earlier. And then by level 14, they're just faster than me.
Hey, Dragoon Blade, it's great to see you.
What about me, Sam? Is it good to see me?
Oh, good to hear you,
Oh,
Kitsu.
Kitsu's in here.
Yeah, I said hi a couple times.
Yeah, we're on
Did
the
you?
discussion about how
Apologies if I spoke over you.
It may have
think I
also
might be
been while
too-
I was having audio issues.
Rob was experiencing anxiety and tuned everything out.
The
By the
movement
way-
speed isn't necessarily something I'm concerned about. It's the movement speed plus everything else you're able to do on your turn.
yeah, I mean, I guess if my class was an Olympic sprinter, you wouldn't really have an issue with that movement speed.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you were an Olympic sprinter, the only thing you'd be doing is running, but
Yeah.
even
Kind
then,
of.
it's like dancing isn't necessarily like some dancing is fast, but it's not like
It's like a pram. It's like a skip at that speed.
Yeah, dancing isn't about moving far. It is about just manipulating your body in certain ways. It's not actually being able to run it's a different skill set. But I'm not against you having extra speed. It's just because you are definitely moving further than 55 feet somehow. And still making all of your actions.
I get it because sensational sway, the thing I use to give you an advantage, also lets me move an extra 15 feet.
Yeah, that definitely. Okay, so that explains where that comes from. But that is definitely sounding broken. Is that a bonus or action?
That's a bonus action.
Okay. Well, to be fair, rogues do get to use dash as a bonus action, so there is some precedent there.
It's not quite a dash, it's more like an enhanced help other.
Yeah.
There are definitely some third-party classes that have upgraded helps. My favorite is the Golem.
Oh, have you, Dragoon? Sorry. Go ahead.
The Golemancer Inventor, who basically gets to use it, but his disadvantage is that his golem is not that great.
I don't know the Golemancer, but I am basing, when you're looking at balancing things, you want to look at the actual official material.
Yeah.
Or at least something put, I consider Unearthed Arcana in it, but some Unearthed Arcana stuff is definitely not balanced.
Yeah.
But it is still worth considering.
Yeah. It's also very weird when you see broken Unearthed Arcana that ends up being just put into the game wholesale, and it's just kind of like, why? Like, Toll the Dead.
I don't consider Toll the Dead that bad.
It's not broken, but it's just better than other cantrips. I can't think of many cantrips I would consider to be... Actually, there are no cantrips on par with it.
Yeah, it is definitely stronger than most other cantrips. But isn't it if I remember right, it's a saving throw, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Constitution saving throw. If they've already taken damage, the damage turns to D10s.
I believe it's D12s.
Oh. No, never mind.
Yeah, it definitely does more damage, but at the same time, saves. You only get so high of a saving throw, that save DC. That is where the disadvantage there lies.
Well, especially since, yeah, especially with Constitution, I don't think there aren't many big bosses that don't also have sky high Constitution.
Exactly. So I'm not too concerned about. I don't think that one's really very broken.
No,
I know,
not
right,
broken.
Dragoon Blade? We've spoken about that a little bit. Where it's like these lights would be exploding over with us spraying them this way. How are you, Kitsu?
Okay.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, the part that might be a little broken, in your opinion at least, is what I get at the 10th level, which is whenever I do a dance flare, I get disengage automatically.
I don't really. It combined with everything else, it is questionable, but
Yeah.
that by itself isn't too terrible.
But
Then
at least
again,
it's-
you get everything having disadvantage against you and stuff. Like at level 10, that's not too bad.
I don't get. I can only get disadvantage against everything if I sack an action. Was it? Yeah, it was an action. Was it an action? I'm checking.
What?
Oh no, it's a bonus dodge. Bonus action dodge. You're right.
Which means that you... So you are... It sounds like you're playing the class wrong then.
In what way?
Well, because you have had things doing disadvantage against you while you're also using your bonus action for other things and your action for things.
Oh, if an enemy takes an attack of opportunity while I'm doing the movement for a flare, they get disadvantage. And the level 10 ability is supposed to be the upgrade of that, where they just can't take attacks of opportunity in response to the movement as part of a flare.
As part of a flare, though.
Yeah, it has to be part of a flare.
So that would only apply to the 15 feet.
Unless I use an action to do another one. But yes. I have other flares, I just
The
haven't been
movement
using
that
them.
is granted by the flare.
Yeah. There are some that do 30, but none of them use bonus actions. Those use actions.
When you first came onto the scene, you moved your full movement and then extra, and somehow managed to get... They did disadvantage against your move when they were attack of opportunity against you there.
I used Artful Dodge.
What is that?
It's a bonus action dodge, and I believe it also gives me 15
You
feet,
also
but
used a bonus action on that to grant Nim advantage, though.
oh wait, Artful
So you
Dodge
used-
is in 0 feet.
It's what?
Artful Dodge is a 0-foot movement.
So you are playing the class wrong.
No.
You used your action to have Nim. You used your Artful Dodge to cause them to have disadvantage against the attack of opportunity on you tonight. When you first came in. You just said you used Artful Dodge for that.
No. I thought you meant, when you said first came in, I thought you meant when you fought me as Nim. Way back.
No, I don't remember enough of that encounter to make statements on that. I'm talking about tonight.
In tonight, I only got to do it once, but I used what is it?
When you were first giving the bonus to Nim,
yeah,
you ran past a treant and and they had disadvantage against you.
Yeah, because I used Sensational Sway and moved 15 feet using it.
Zim, I'm gonna go to bed, I think.
Did you get your thing figured
chill.
out?
Got the thing figured out. It signed me into a temporary profile.
Oh.
Which I didn't know was a thing that it could do.
Okay. Cool. Glad you got it figured out.
I was gonna play games and linger in the call for another couple of hours, but I think I've had enough excitement for now, and I got very, very agitated, and I had to leave the call for a bit. And
I know.
I'm just gonna sleep.
That's okay. You rest well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today and playing.
It was a lot of fun. And Neon.
Neon. I will say...
It is fun gaming with Neon's little pink bunny of insanity. The night, Zim. The night, Neon.
Good night.
Whoa, go and sleep. Oh, I can't hear. My audio's gone out again. That's fantastic. I can't hear what you was saying. And by Akitsu.
Is Akitsu doing water with you?
No.
I don't know what Kitsu's doing.
He's being adorable. Let him be.
I'm not doing anything.
You're kind of the one that brought him up in all of this. I didn't bother him. You're the one that bothered him, Neon.
No.
Telling me to leave Kitsubi when you're the one bothering him.
Yeah. One thing I did notice is that the class I thought would be a little bit more martial ended up being like quite a bit weaker than I expected.
Which one?
The brandishing blade subclass for the dancer. I thought like it would be a little bit more impactful, but it has some rather sizable gaps.
What subclass are you using?
Brandish blade. It's the one that lets me summon a animated sword, wear medium armor, because otherwise they are forced to wear light, and they get a fighting style, either dual wielding or dueling. But they don't get shields.
Okay, so that included, like, better armor and stuff is very strong.
Yeah. But Dancer relies a lot on the dex. So medium armor ends up being a bit of a net.
I can understand that. I know in Nim's case, when he was a paladin, he still wore light armor. Just because his dex was really strong. But... Wostein, you did great tonight, but go fucking sleep.
You can't tell Wolfstein what to do.
No, they have a point here. That said, I will go to sleep in about 50 minutes when I get over there.
I will... You are right. I cannot tell him what to do. However, I can restrict his access to various things if he doesn't take care of himself.
You know what's gonna happen?
You can
Wolfstein's just gonna turn you into a Pokemon so you can't say anything effectively.
I may not be able to say anything effectively, but I can still do things.
Well, what if he turns you into an unknown?
Well, then I've got psychic powers to do whatever the hell I want with.
Oh yeah, they are a psychic type. They got the lousy symbol attack, but they are a psychic type. The unknowns are probably the most blatant, gotta catch 'em all Pokemon that they put into the game series.
I do wish that they did something more with the unknowns as far as, because like in the lore and stuff, it's like when the unknowns gather, that is when you can see how strong they are and stuff, because they're all about being this group power instead of individual.
Yeah,
and yet they
100%.
do nothing with that.
Conditional evolution. Have all the unknown together. Acquire unknown alphabet.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in there that they like hinted at existing but haven't touched.
And a lot that they've put in and then immediately abandoned. Like Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing what Pokemon
Yeah, but
were supposed to get Megas.
Mega Evolutions were design work.
I was looking forward to finding out Arcanine's Mega Evolution someday.
If it makes you feel any better, it probably had hubris.
Hubris?
Every time it defeats an enemy, its special attack gauge goes up.
I don't know about that stuff, but... when it comes to actual stats with Pokemon, I'm not that knowledgeable. My strength is just knowing about the general personality and such.
Yeah, I've unfortunately played a lot of the hard fan-made Pokemons which really kick you hard in the shins if you don't have your strategies down. Let me just say, I hate Klefki so much now. And you will never know why.
Okay, that's funny, Chris. What? Your unknowns are evolving? And they evolve into keyboard. I like that concept.
Yeah. I am happy. I do find it funny that all my predictions for Pokemon have so far come true. I predicted that they would have a legendary Pokemon that evolves, and they've had that a few times actually by now.
I only know of the most recent one.
Yeah. I predicted,
There was the Sun and Moon one.
Yeah. And I predicted that there would be a Super Mega and Super Attacks. And both of those came true.
Are you calling Gigantamax Super Mega or what?
No, I'm not referring to Gigantamax. I'm referring to the Groudon, Kyogre, and Razaga.
I wouldn't really consider those quite like that, but...
That's for super moves. It's the Z moves, which appeared they're already gone. I'm so surprised.
Well, yeah, everything that they come out with it goes away right away.
I don't know why
Basically, immediately.
I don't know why they don't borrow more from their side games, like, because their side games always come up with great things. I love how, like, Pokemon Arceus redid how freezing works and makes it a lot more strategic and interesting than just being an alternate paralyze.
You know what the best part about Arceus is, though? You don't have to breed for stats. You can just get the stats you want.
Yeah. Pokemon, I love you Pikachu and I love you Eevee, or except, you know,
I choose you.
I choose you Pikachu and I choose you Eevee had like Pokemon with slight stat adjustments and sizes. That was neat. That should have been a feature they kept. And you know what? I actually hate shiny hunting just because of how limited it is. It's like, why can't you just like have shinies be like a bunch of palettes? Or like a little bit different? Especially since some shiny palettes are pretty god-awful.
Hello, Green Party.
Green Party? Oh,
There's
because...
a bunch of shinies that are just green.
Yeah... Why are you special? I got sick one day, and so now I'm considered shiny.
I think my favorite is that everyone draws like an autumn-colored Leafeon, and everyone thinks that that's actually the shiny color, but it's like, no, it's just a slightly different tint of green.
Yeah.
Like, what a missed opportunity for Leafeon's shiny color.
Yeah, I very much agree, Krisov's. And I also was not particularly fond of the. Like, I specifically went out and bought a Pro Controller when I got Let's Go Pikachu, or whatever their actual names are. I can't remember right now either.
Choose you, Pikachu.
No, it's Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
Okay.
At least
Oh,
in the
Let's
US,
Go.
it's that. Yeah, it's Let's Go because they based it off of Pokemon Go.
I specifically bought a Pro Controller to avoid the having to swing my arm to catch things.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying everything they can't come up with in the design games are a good idea. Just they never keep the good ideas. They
So
actually
for
get.
the like Pokemon being different sizes and that, I like the Arceus for that more.
That was a
Yeah.
nice thing, yeah.
So about hot werewolves.
Sorry, we can't discuss those legally.
Are you sure? Because we have the SAR of hot werewolves, and which ones rock out loud with us right
Well,
now?
yeah, we don't have Sark here.
Oh, I'm mixing
Yeah.
people up. Sorry.
Yeah, we have to. We legally cannot discuss hot werewolves without Sark around.
Yeah, sorry, that's the law. No Sark, no hot werewolf talk.
Well, now he's
Yeah.
here, so now we can talk about him.
Technically, I am Kurama Woof. That is not Sark. Sorry, Sark is sleeping.
You are Sark.
But
Kurama
Sark
no
is-
longer exists.
Listen, I'm looking at Zim. I'm looking at Sark right now, and there's a giant werewolf on my bed just sleeping, and he's out like a light bulb.
Well, there's a
Yes,
full
but you are
moon?
Sark. You're not out so cold. You're not sleeping.
Gosh.
Then why is there a giant werewolf in my bed that looks a lot like Sark?
Oh, why aren't you in bed with the giant werewolf?
Wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you that they're in your bed because you would be right there with them. You would not be in call with us.
Wait, let's do a test to see if it is Sark. Rating from 1 to 10, how hot is that werewolf?
I mean, 1 to 10 on like.
Wow. What the hell was that?
That was somebody playing the Wither Boss card.
Oh, fun.
It depends what we're rating it on. If we're rating it on like,
Richter scale.
I would say cuddle ability, I'd say full 10. This werewolf is very fluffy.
It seems like it could be him.
There is no Kurama, there is only Zool.
There is no Kurama, there is only Sark.
Although this werewolf,
Really, no one got that quote?
I got it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know many hot werewolves who are hot as werewolves. So,
Hugh Jackman.
other than
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman and a character from OKKO, Let's Be Friends.
Huh.
Which was kind of weird that they made one of the main characters' parents hot, and that was the joke.
Wait, what?
The joke is that both her parents are incredibly hot. She has a sexy witch mother and a hot werewolf father, and they're Latino lovers.
Okay, but is it like a werewolf dad is like has a bit of extra hair around his his sideburns, or like a full blown like goofy werewolf?
Full blown werewolf. Let me see if I can't find it. Okay.
Not a full-blown werewolf unless they have a tail.
That's true. Which is why Worgen aren't considered actual werewolves.
Yeah.
Well, of course not. They're called Worgen for a reason.
Yeah. The whole pair are more werewolf than Worgens.
I'll post it in.
Pandas are more werewolf than Worgen.
I'll paste it in media sharing. This is what he looks like.
Also, I gotta say, I was watching... YouTube dragged me down the YouTube thing last night.
You mean you went down there yourself?
No, it just kept auto-playing while I was working on other things, and then I got distracted
That's why
watching
you turn
it.
off autoplay.
But it's this thing called WoWcrafts on YouTube, or WoWcraft. Apparently it's from the same people that did StarCrafts, which is the weird animation thing, and they kept playing the original World of Warcraft starting menu music, and oh god, now the nostalgia is hitting hard.
Yeah. You want to play Warcraft.
You can't go back. You can't go back. It won't be
Join
the same.
me, Zim.
I
Play
know
the
it,
Twink Dragon.
I know it won't be the same, and I know it'll last like 5 minutes before I'm like, yeah, this is why I stopped playing.
Oh, wow.
It will
Okay,
break your heart.
that is an actual Warcraft.
What?
Actual Warcraft is the freaking strategy games.
Oh yeah, they've got a Warcraft one, a small Warcraft series as well, but they also did a bunch of World of Warcraft stuff that they called WoWcraft.
Yeah, but
There's some really good
Warcraft
stuff
isn't
that they've
actual
done.
Warcraft.
You know, I have a weird question that is completely unrelated, but I saw a Marten and now I have to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you tell if an albino is pale or allergic to the sun without throwing them into the sun?
What?
How do you tell the difference between being just pale but can touch sun without dying, or they have to stay out of the sun constantly?
I mean, are you talking about a person or
Or an animal?
So I have actually known somebody that was actually albino. I will say it was not. It is a very noticeable difference between the normal skin versus somebody that is albino. Like, you know, the stereotypical vampire portrayal where they are just pure white. It's not even like
And
that.
sparkle.
Do they have
That
crystallized
is not
or
a
red
real
eyes?
vampire.
You said not.
But what did you say, Neon?
Crystallized or red eyes?
I don't remember
like-
his eye color, but
Oh.
like an actual albino isn't necessary. Like, their skin has an almost transparent quality to it in places.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant when you say it that way.
It's hard to describe, but it's
Yeah,
something that is noticeable in person.
Yeah, I guess it's because skin is translucent normally, and except the pigments in our skin kind of hides that to an extent.
Yeah, an albino outright does not have pigments in their skin. That is what makes them an albino. And even then, typically they are not the same across their entire body. It is just that one. It is just a few spots, or it could be a lot of spots. It could be a few spots. It almost looks more like or typically looks more like a birthmark. As far as animals go, they still at least have... I don't know for sure. I'm not a vet or anything, but from what I know, they at least have their fur to protect them from the sun. But for a human, it is very noticeably different. There is a noticeable difference between albino and just being very pale.
Yeah, humans are poorly designed.
We've got a big brain, it makes up for it.
No, it doesn't make up for like a feral tail.
Yeah, it doesn't. I agree. But there's also another thing to note is that they are able to go in the sun. It's just they have to be careful about it.
Yeah, I know that, like, this woman isn't an albino, but you know Jaxalia from Deep Space Nine?
I don't really remember now.
Anyway, her actress is not allergic to the sun, but she burns in the sun so quickly that they've had to, like, reshoot entire events around the fact that she can't go out.
That is a minor allergen to light or the sun, which is a different thing from being albino.
No, I know.
There is a possibility that albinos, like true albinos, have a higher chance of being allergic to the sun. I don't know, but like the one friend I had that was albino, he was actually albino. He could go into the sun. He just had to put on some sunscreen, but otherwise he was fine.
I feel that. I have to put on all the sunscreen, and I'm constantly reminded by my mom. It's like, did you put on sunscreen? Yes. It's like, okay. I don't put on sunscreen. Like, if I miss a single spot, within 5 minutes, there will just be like, you can see very clearly where I missed a little bit of sunscreen, because there will be like streaks of red burn on my skin.
Ooh.
I can make art on my skin in the sun and burn.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, and there's so many different varieties of genetics out there, though. Like, that friend, his mom was also allergic to... she was albino and allergic to the sun. So for her, she had to cover up whenever she goes outside. But, and then there's also, like in my case, I'm a redhead. And typically, redheads burn very well very easily in the sun. I do not. So
They call you a daywalker.
There's a lot of variation on that. Perfect timing. As you can see, I've encountered a few issues with my private jet. That's what comes from flying too close to the sun, or in this case, a volcano, and the ocean. After your application and discretion with my excavation drill, I know you're exactly who I want on the job. As you'll discover, my jet is not without its idiosyncrasies. I trust you to be your usual discreet self in return for an excellent rate. Blip. Carry on
Personally, I
what
think
you
you're
were going to say.
Yeah, I think you're a little
You're
under charger.
I am not.
You are cute.
Also, can we change being burnt to say that we're slightly crispy?
I like that.
You crisp very easily like bacon.
And hell, I just fucking hate it.
What's wrong with long pork?
I'm going.
Oh, don't go.
See, this is why I have Sark always come outside with me, because he can just cover me so that I don't have to look at the sun and burn. Please, good pupper.
Are you saying that... Are you a human?
I never said that. I'm just saying, having Sark around, he's very tall and very big, so he acts like basically a giant sun. He projects shade wherever he goes. I was trying to figure out how to say that correctly.
Does anyone like put serious thought into like the mechanics of having a tail? Like not biomechanics, but just like how chairs would have to be designed.
A lot of people put a lot of thought into that.
And
Like,
pants.
there's a lot that would have to change.
Yeah.
That is something that
and everything's designed.
That is something that I personally actually enjoy figuring out and thinking about. But I also love world design, so that's, you know, that's my forte.
Yeah. Apparently, the answer most people come up with is low-cut jeans.
My answer to that would actually be straps over the that you just button over the tail.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Just like a tail strap that goes over there.
Yeah.
Or you can go the route a lot of furry artists do and just put on and just ignore it and just, yeah, the tail just sticks through. How? Yeah. The pants it just phases through the pants.
See, I like fabric. I like what the model makers do with the Rex, and they just make it really low cut, and then they have the strap that goes over.
Yeah, that's what Sam and I were talking about.
Yeah. The interesting ones are probably shoes for digigrades, because like they're always this monster of a shoe.
On that front, I have actually thought about those sorts of things. First off,
supremacy.
It would probably be, first off, socks would not be a thing. Not the way that we have them.
Paws would destroy them.
Paws would destroy socks, but not only that, you pull socks on. When you are talking about something with fur, that is going to be pulling that fur up with it when the natural course of the fur is for it to go down the foot, down the paw.
So you're saying...
So socks would just outright not be a thing. However, I could absolutely see them having like wrappings that they just put around it. More inconvenient, so I would imagine not that many people would actually go for it. But it's how it would be done in my train of thinking instead of the way it is for like humans, because you know. Another
slips?
Huh?
What would they? Slips would be another option.
What are you talking about, slips?
You know how there are like dogs in the winter and ice can get in between their paws and then freeze, and it could give them bad frostbite?
Yes.
Slips go between the paws It's just like a little piece of fabric. That's another option.
That is an option. But most socks are primarily for some extra warmth, as well as like socks are primarily used for protection against the the make of the shoe itself, as well as some warmth that you can wear around the house.
I think it's also a extra bit of cleanliness. There's so many things that go
That as
wrong
well.
if you're not very good to your feet.
So that is why I would presume that Anthros would use would not use socks. That said, another thing to note about shoes, which again I have thought long and hard about this, probably too long, but they would not have tied on shoes like what we have. The same reasoning as what I mentioned before with as far as why they wouldn't wear socks. I would presume that they would have like straps. The shoes would completely open. You would put the paw inside of the shoe and then strap it down. And I guess they could tie it on, but most likely just use straps.
Yeah. And I picture furs would, or anthros would have like a lot of open toe boots to show off those stompers.
I know a lot of furries definitely draw that style. I don't think that would necessarily be a thing. Like, yes, they would definitely have them, just like we have, flip-flops and sandals.
Yeah.
But for actual work, the whole reason why they still toed boots is because when things fall, it's gonna fall on your fucking toes.
Yeah,
exactly.
And when you look at the design of a sandal, it usually has like a cushion for your foot, and then it goes up a bit to stop things from getting under the sandal.
But that's the... So, yeah, they would not actually have open-toe boots and such. I really don't think so. Possibly. I mean, who knows what fashion might have been designed, but it would be a fashion thing rather than looking at this from a practical standpoint.
Furries would also dress much more lightly than humans because humans don't have fucking fur.
Yeah. They would dress lighter. They wouldn't have... they would definitely have lighter outfits than what we do. And especially in the... Like, in the summer, I would imagine that shorts are probably the only thing they're gonna wear. Now, something else that I know is a controversial topic to furries, but looking at it biologically,
Better not say they can't talk.
No.
No, he's gonna say they might not wear much at all.
Well, no. That's definitely not a controversial topic amongst furries. I don't think that anthros would actually be digigrade.
Yeah. Apparently would make...
Looking at nature, the animals that are comfortable standing on just two legs, martens, skunks, bears, they're all plantigrade.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know the biological reasoning behind that, but those are the animals that come to mind that are comfortable standing on 2 legs, and they are all plantigrade, and clearly there's a reason for it.
There is one explanation someone has come up with. It's the best explanation possible for why there might be digigrade anthros. Because digigrade shows off the butt.
I'm talking about an actual biological evolution, not somebody's fantasy.
No. It's not a like, improving your attractiveness to find a mate is a genuine evolution, even if it seems ineffective. Like, bright feathers on birds, for example, do not help them avoid predators, but it helps them attract a mate.
Well, with that, most birds are able to avoid predators through other means, namely flying. Granted, there are birds that hunt those, like owls and hawks, they will hunt other birds, but that's a whole other thing altogether.
Yeah. The only controversial thing that I don't like that would have to be brought up is that anthros probably wouldn't be able to talk.
As far as that goes, yes, they could. I could 100% see them being able to communicate just like we do. Simply because we evolved this way, and they already have vocal cords. Right now, their animals' vocal cords may not be capable of human speech, but they are capable of their own noises, and thus I can very easily see anthros being able to speak. And obviously, in a society, they would need to have some form of communication. But that's an easy thing to get around.
Yeah,
I'm referring to the mechanical side of the body itself.
Yeah, and technically the ability of advanced communication is a requirement for high levels of intelligence, period. In fact, it might be the mechanic. Even tool use stemmed from our ability to throw hypothetical ideas together and communicate them. But that's neither here nor there.
But my point here, I'm more referring to the mechanical body itself and how things... Like, this whole discussion started over how the world would be different on, like, chairs, for example. Yeah. How it would be different if the world were actually anthro.
I think for chairs, they'd all be designed so they have, like, a thing you can move your tail in between from the right side.
That is what I think as well. They would have an open space at the base instead of closed like most chairs are for humans, and you would sit in it from the side, I think.
I mean,
you would kind of slide into the chair.
My grandparents had fucking chairs that only had like a cushion up higher. They had nothing for the lower back.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there are chairs that exist that are like telecompatible already.
Yeah. So that is an easy thing to, work around. That is an easy discussion to figure out. We already have things that are very much anthro-compatible.
Like fingerless gloves.
You know what? I'm gonna just quickly ask Sark this question. See what he has. Fear beast.
Sure.
We summon Sonic forward with our discussion about hot werewolves.
Okay, so according to him, he doesn't really have a lot of issues with a lot of chairs, except my gaming chair is kind of difficult to sit in because it does have that pullback, but in that case, he just puts his tail to the side. In terms of gloves, though, he does not wear them. He does not work with claws.
You know, he could also just have bad posture and stick his tail between his legs and give himself extra room and lean forward.
That would involve sitting on the tail.
No, you lean forward and then you sit on your two legs instead of your butt. It's horrible posture.
And yeah, Dragoon Blade, there are some animals that are able to make sounds that are very similar to human speech. You look around the internet and there are 10,000 of them.
The best is the lyrebird, which is there is no greater mimic on Earth than the lyrebird.
But I'm not really.
Also, there's nothing saying that the speech would have to sound like human speech, because
that too.
There could just be a myriad of different ways you could growl and make like different vocal sounds with like that shit. Also, there's nothing to say that an intelligent species can't have a more body language oriented language.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there are. I know there was a tribe. I don't remember if it was South America or Africa, but I think it's Africa, where they have clicks of their tongue as part of their language. So the language is a very easy thing to get around, and that's easy to explain.
There is, I can think of one controversial topic. Not really controversial, but one that certain people would be unhappy about, and disappoints me. Insect anthros just can't exist.
Why not?
Yeah, it's the size. Apparently, there are a whole bunch of factors. It's why we can't have giant spiders.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought about this myself, but at the same time, I could, like, we're also talking about how creatures that would have evolved entirely different from how they did today.
Yeah.
I could very easily see that there would be some manner of a large insect-like creature that could exist in an anthroform. It would not be, you know, it may not be a perfect it may not be a perfect similarity to, say, a spider, but
yeah, I guess it would be like a platypus.
Also, the insect circulatory systems and like breathing systems are not nearly evolved enough to actually facilitate having bigger life. But back when there was, you know, more oxygen in the atmosphere, there actually were giant insects because there was just so much oxygen.
There were large insects, but not like horse-sized spiders. Though they got pretty big. They were like head-sized mosquitoes. Actually, I can check how big the biggest mosquito I ever lived was.
I don't really see how this is a... Yeah, they had pretty giant insects.
Yeah, but when I say giant, I mean like that movie where they have to kill a giant spider. and they're like, we can't stop it with bullets. It doesn't have enough organs.
I'm just happy we don't have.
I actually kind of like that movie. Like,
I would be very tempted to send all those giant insects back to God.
yeah.
I mean, I myself would not want anthro insects around, but speaking on a, putting my bias against insects aside, I don't actually see why they would not have been able to evolve that in the first place, You're saying that they could not exist, and I'm saying I think they could have existed. Not the same way that they do right now, but then again, dogs and cats and such, if they were anthro, would not actually be the same as what they are right now.
Well, they would be so changed to adapt to that size that I'm not even sure, we wouldn't even call them insects.
I mean, who's to say what they would be called? Who's to say that anthro dogs and cats would even be called anthro dogs and cats?
Well, obviously they wouldn't be called, like, I think it's more what he's getting at is, like, the bodily functionality of insects is what I think they're getting at.
Yeah.
Rather than the size.
Yeah. Like, I love that giant spider movie so much, unironically, even though the science is so bad. But I love the fact that they're trying to, like, stop this giant spider, but in the science of this movie, they literally just got a house spider and made it like the size of a house. So they can't shoot it because a house spider doesn't have enough vital organs and vital locations that a bullet can stop it. So it's kind of interesting. Also, I don't know if an exoskeleton works on the large size.
All I know is Starship Troopers said that giant insects can exist, and that if you shoot their brainstem, it takes them down. So, yeah, you shoot the brainstem of a bug, and you'll put it down for good. That's Starship Troopers logic.
I'm looking that up.
Why do you think Why do you think Sark and I greet household pets with the truly American AR-15? It's like, oh look, insects. Insects meet 556.
They do. I know they have brains. I just don't know if they have brain stems.
Well, in Starship Troopers, the warrior bugs have brain stems that the mobile infantry need to aim at in order to kill them. Or they just use their grenade launcher, which works.
And the cool and incredibly creepy thing in real life is also that insects have multiple brains throughout their body. Yeah, I'm not very scared of... I'm scared of insects in real life, but video games, thankfully, never get insects correct to make them creepy. They're always off. They're always, like, rubber spiders.
Have you seen Grounded?
They're not that correct. I haven't seen you kill an insect in Grounded, and it's still... Yeah, actually, I'm going to stop myself from even saying it.
I mean, they have health bars. You stab them a bunch of times, and they're still going. So...
Yeah, but have you reduced them down to 0 health bar, and they're still going?
Well, no, because that's not that's not how video game mechanics work.
Right, but that's one of the creepy things that insects do that makes them horrifying to me in real life. They don't know when to die.
Oh, I understand that. Good God, I understand that. We had an infestation of horseflies back in Utah, and those things would not die. Like, I had an electric fly swatter because occasionally we'd have a wasp that would crawl into the area that the horseflies took over, or something else, and I would use an electric fly swatter, and that thing would vaporize everything up to that point. Horseflies? Fucking... I would pin them to the wall, and they would be getting zapped over and over and still be alive.
See, that's where 556 comes into play. They're not going to survive that.
That's where
No,
what
you'd be
comes into play?
surprised.
You had so
556.
much background noise there that I did not understand it. 556? What is that?
556 are for the holy caliber 45.
Oh,
You
it's
shoot
a
the
gun.
horsefly. I guarantee you it will not survive getting shot.
Yeah.
Neither will the wall, but
Yeah. Video games also rarely get their movement correct. They don't have like the weird crawly movement that they do in real life. Though I will say, Grounded is a game I didn't buy because I'm too scared to play it.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that there's very, very few animators who actually want to like painstakingly make a spider 100%.
No, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they could and chose not to on purpose because people are afraid of spiders.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are like me who are terrified of spiders but find video game spiders to be like too thick to be scared of. If I played Skyrim and those spiders acted like freaking spiders, I'd throw the game out of the window and run.
Yeah, the spiders in Grounded are very much accurate as far as I'm concerned.
Accurate enough. Honestly, the insect that scares me the most in Grounded is probably the earwigs. Because they're slimy and everywhere and they're in the dark.
But either way, back to the original discussion here that we were going on with. When it comes to anthros, I have definitely put a lot of consideration into it. Easy one, deers or other antlered critters definitely would not be wearing the same kind of shirts that others do. They would have button-ups.
Yeah. Do they call them bottom-ups where you are?
Button-ups?
Yeah, do they call them that where you are?
Everywhere that I've been, and I've been all over the U.S., they're button-up shirts.
Usually we call them button-down. Where I am in this crazy world.
anyway, I'm finally tired, so I'm gonna head to bed.
Sleep well. Thanks for coming by.
Well, he's
Sleep
leaving
well,
now.
whoever is leaving.
Let's talk about how Hugh Jackman's the hottest werewolf alive.
Sorry, can't do that with him leaving.
That's not me, that's Sark. I already told you Sark's sleeping.
Well,
Did you
and
check?
you know, we can also talk about how monster fuckers have a really hard time accepting the other side of the werewolf. They just want the big werewolf daddy. They don't want the other side of it.
You mean the
You know,
sensitive?
what you really need are rat ogres. Just saying.
You know, I do like the Skaven. I do like that they're not like inherently evil. There is this genuine question that if their top brass were to die off, if they would like become legitimate. And yeah.
Hold up. What lore have you read?
That the Skaven are a little bit more ambiguous. I'm talking about that. What did I say?
Every bit of Warhammer lore that I have seen, every race has its evil parts to it in Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah.
However, the Skaven are the only ones that have absolutely zero redeemable qualities to them whatsoever.
I thought the on the ground Skaven like are just more cowed than evil.
Skaven 100% would not. They are 100% evil.
Dragoonblade, I'm not saying
every single
Skaven,
one of them.
Yeah, Dragoonblade, I'm not saying the Skaven are good. I'm saying that individual Skaven are evil because of their society. If they were removed from society, they wouldn't be evil.
There is only one dubiously canonical Skaven that was not completely evil. And I say it was dubiously canonical because Games Workshop has never really said whether it is canonical or not. But in general, most media that they officially publish is, and this was a story that was apparently written for children.
Yeah, I do know that Skaven can at least be sociable, at least. There are Skaven that have made diplomatic ties with people that aren't evil. Like the Skaven who went to Nippon and was like, I want to be a ninja. And they were like, okay.
I mean, they can absolutely do that, but there's still... There's always that ulterior motive that they have. Any deal with any Skaven is something that you should very much be cautious of.
Yeah, and I mentioned the Beastmen, but there are canonical groups of good Beastmen out there.
Yes, the Beastmen even have some canonical goodness to them. Skaven, not a single one.
Yeah, and the Orcs have a weird path they could go on to end up being a force for good. But
well, the Orcs aren't necessarily evil, they just enjoy fighting.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not really them being evil, it's just like, like the Irish.
Yeah, what's kind of funny is I invented in my head a ending to 40K, and I know this isn't Fantasy Warhammer, but the similarity for what I'm about to say is close enough, where the Tyranids will never stop coming, but what the Imperials did is they made a deal with like the Orcs and basically were like, well, you get to fight them forever, and the Orcs were like, cool, perfect. So maybe the Orcs could fight Chaos forever. So the orcs are also very weird in that they are like secretly a super weapon in both worlds.
In terms of their actual nature, they are actually psychologically wired to view others as ready to backstab them at any potential moment, even those who trained in Clan Eshin, who would be the said Nippon Skaven. And I'm not sure if we're thinking of the same one, Dragoon Blade, but Dragoon Blade says, look up the lore of the Fell Blade. But either way, there was one Skaven that is dubiously good and dubiously canon. Nobody really knows if it is actually canon or not. Usually, usually most official merchandise is considered canon, but this is also something written for children. So those tend to send out actual canon of things. They tend to throw actual canon out the window.
It could be like that, the Battlefield TV show where they ended up making that canon, but none of the events happened. It was all a propaganda cartoon that was existent. So the story could exist in canon, but just be a story taught to children.
Well, maybe, except for the fact that the Skaven don't exist. There is no such thing as Skaven.
No. Okay.
The Empire always pushes that propaganda out that the Skaven don't actually exist. The Empire tries to convince the people that Skaven aren't real.
But they're so demonstrably real, why do they bother?
I don't know. Ask them. Also, Digi, are you going to look up the lore of the actual lore for the guilds?
Me?
Yes.
You said my name's not Digi.
Or Neon.
I did, and I guess I can look at it again. The difference is that I just had a disagreement over what the lore meant. I just didn't agree with your assessment, and I was just like, okay, fine, I'll take your word for it and move on.
That is interesting.
I didn't take the gruel as Unga Bunga, but apparently...
Well, that's not really what they are either, but...
And they have steel weaponry. Meaning they have forges.
Or they stole it.
Or they stole it, but then... Yeah, or they stole it. So it's usually made to purpose. Basically, Dragoon Blade, we're having a war over what the gruel are, and we have major disagreements.
Well,
that can't be reconciled.
The fact is, even Digi says that the way you interpret it is wrong, and well, Digi can change the lore how he wants, so...
No, that's fine. I was willing to drop it.
But I'm asking if you are actually going to read the lore of the various guilds.
I have.
Alright. Because I
I'll
would
read
like
it
to
again.
avoid problems like tonight.
Mhm.
Kitsu!
Oh yeah, waterlog that engine.
I have not waterlogged my engine.
Alright, Chris, sleep well. Thanks for coming by. One thing that I have not really figured out how it would function in an Anthro world would be vehicles.
I mean, you just have to do the same thing with states, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different there because at least, well, I guess the vehicles would probably be longer. I know one of the things that we run into today is lack of legroom, which I'm sure Kitsu, you are very well familiar with that as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't fit in my family's car because the wheel didn't adjust at all, and my leg literally stopped the door from closing.
Is he taller than 6'4"? Are you 6'7"?
I'm 6'4".
Oh.
I'm 6'6".
Yep. Zim's taller than me.
But
I have long legs though. I have like, I think it's like 34-inch pant legs. Yeah.
I don't even know how long pant legs would be for me. I just gave up on actual pants forever ago. I wear shorts even in the middle of winter.
I think
It was always such a nightmare for me to find clothes because it was just like, hey, I need like 28 34s, and they're just like,
Yep, same.
I think the answer to your question is very dependent on like the degree in which anthros would differ, like size-wise. Like, are we talking like full Zootopia levels?
So for me, it would be not like the vast majority or the vast difference that they have in Zootopia.
What about
Like,
Theodore
yes, there would be. I would definitely say that a world of Anthros would have differing sizes, but not to the degree of Zootopia. Like rabbits would be. I felt like Judy might have been a bit bigger in an actual Anthro world. Same with Nick, and then some of the bigger ones like the elephants might be a little bit smaller. But regardless of that, I am referring mostly to like assuming that they are all the same general size as average humans. This guy's got a freaking anti-gravity booster?
Did you not notice the laser cannon underneath?
I did notice the laser, but
laser cannons exist in real life.
Not that kind of laser.
Yeah.
That's an alien laser kind of weapon rather than.
I mean, that's fair, but either way, back on what I was saying. Dragoon Blade. The problem of cheetahs is that they can only do that in short bursts, whereas a car can just keep going at 80 miles per hour as long as it's got gas or doesn't have some other problem happen.
Yeah, you have to remember that cheetahs are sprinters, not marathon runners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing altogether.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it is simply a fact that creatures on all fours can run faster than something on two legs. So, I would not, like, I could see that cheetahs would be faster, but I don't think they would be able to pick up those kinds of speeds.
Just instantly imagine football. Mommy, I want to be a running back. Sorry, honey, you're a wolf. You're not. Yeah. You're not a fast, agile feline. You cannot be a running back.
Yep. Controversial topic number 3. Bird anthros probably wouldn't be able to fly.
I could see them still being able to fly.
Maybe it depends on their build and everything.
Maybe if they had
could definitely fly
in their bones.
It all depends on the exact design of them. Like, if they follow more the Aarakocra design where they've got wings on their back, obviously they could easily fly then. If their arms are wings, well, that gets into a dubious field that I couldn't really form an opinion on because it is a very different body design from what it is in nature. Like, outright. So it's easier to work with, like, wolves and cats and such. It's because they would probably be the easiest to have a consistent design factor to base around.
Yeah. And also, sorry if my coughs are getting on stream occasionally.
I haven't heard them.
Okay, thank goodness.
Would you rather be a werewolf every full moon, or would you rather be an anthro wolf with were-human disease? I would rather be an anthro wolf with were-human disease.
Yeah, you're talking to furries. They'd much prefer the option where they are furry most of the time.
Unless you mean as a wolf, as in a feral wolf, in which case I like having hands.
No, he said werewolf. Werewolf or anthro-wolf. And werewolves are typically anthro.
Yeah, but he said wolf instead of anthro-wolf at the end.
No, he did say anthro-wolf.
They said anthro-wolf for that part.
Yeah. He specified anthro-wolf. Read the message again.
It depends on what you... It depends on the requirements. The werewolves that can only spread if they kill their victim probably not going to make us another one.
Wait, what? Where are we?
Kristoff, but if you were a werewolf, you could transform other people into werewolves. And I'm saying, yeah, it depends on what mechanism we're using.
I mean, the typical method is just you bite them or scratch them and they become werewolf.
Yeah, why do werewolves have like really honking? Oh wait, no, I know why werewolves have really sharp claws. They have what I like to call mythological upgrades.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder how many like horror movie people hate how many more people nowadays are just monster fuckers and don't want to have the monster be like the purely the villain.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of them out there that are like, God damn it, that's supposed to be scary. Stop getting horny.
Yeah. Actually, like, one thing I found interesting, have you ever watched Cells at Work?
Watch what?
Cells at Work is an anime about the human body.
No.
Okay, in it, they depict, what is it called? Opportunist bacteria, which is neutral bacteria that is either good for you or bad for you, depending on, like, whether bad bacteria or good bacteria is winning. But they depict them as being yokai, like, not because yokai in Japanese mythology were always, like, they're either good or they're bad.
Where did it... Stop jumping around on subjects, God!
I'm sorry, that's how my brain works. My brain doesn't make direct connections. Doesn't make direct connections. It has like landing points.
No, your brain does not have landing points. Your brain has... Okay, we're talking about this, and now we're veering off to... We're all right, so we're on our way to... Actually, let me do this better. Let me do this better. Let me do it right.
Good luck, all of you. I am at my destination and now sleeping. So, bye.
Okay,
Good
sleep
night,
well.
bye.
Hopefully this will work.
I'm not trying to switch the topic, it's just... It's how my brain works.
What's going on? Sam, you are like purely static-ing shit on our end.
Yeah, I'm not sure the audience is enjoying this.
Okay, we'll go with the regular radio demon then. The pilot is still in beta, so I wasn't sure if it would work this time or not. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently en route to Salt Lake City, Utah. And, oh wait, no, now we're going to change course over to Connecticut. And now we're moving our course over to Alaska. So do look forward to those nice cold breezes up there. Thank you.
You eventually get to Connecticut, you just have to make all those stops
But our original
first.
destination was Utah.
Oh, I mean, you eventually get to Utah. you just have to go through all the other places first.
But that is your brain.
Yes, that's how my brain works.
You don't have landing spots. We're on course on this, and now we have completely veered off course. I was hoping the pilot one would work. I apologize for that, everyone.
Yeah,
The pilot is one of those new AI ones where it's supposed to completely replace the voice with a different kind of speech-to-text like voice, and well, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Most of the time, they're just broken.
Yeah.
But either way, back on course. Before Neon drags us away again, I was talking about vehicles.
Yeah,
The big
so
problem that we have with humans is lack of leg space. But now,
Yeah, well-
imagine, now we're throwing tails into the mix, where we have to consider both tails and legs in the for the people in, you know, tail space behind and the leg space for the people behind them.
I think for the Saurons and the lizards, they might have to have their own special cars.
Why?
Because their tails are just so
Not
big,
flexible.
yeah, and not flexible. It might just have to be a design decision.
I could see them possibly being more, like, roads themselves would definitely be wider, I believe, because they would have to consider, like I could see kind of a staggered setup.
Roads would probably not be wider for a very good reason.
What would not?
The roads would not be wider for one specific reason.
What is that?
Roads are based off of the size of roads are based off of the distance, or based off of two horses riding side by side.
Well, yes, but in an anthro world, that may be the case for the human world, but not necessarily an anthro world. Yes, you're saying that is how they do it, but that is our world, and I don't think that would be the case in an anthro world.
They have three horses side by side.
Or they just base it off of whatever design requirements they need.
Well, that's too effective.
But
And
please,
either
for the love of God, never design suburbs. Keep cities walkable.
I would agree. Ideally, they would just, everything would be walkable. At most, they would have, you know, buses, public transport, instead of individual cars. But we're talking about taking the concept, you know, the way things work, right? Like, what I like to do
Okay,
is
but there are countries in the world where cities are walkable and not just vehicle hellscapes that the U.S. is.
Yeah. Are we like? Once again, this goes back to how big are we talking these furries are? Are we talking?
I
like
already
these guys are, like,
established that.
So, well, you said more akin to human sizes, so
We're like, for theory's sake, we're establishing them as roughly the same size as an average human.
yeah. So why do they need more lane space?
I'm not
Because you also
talking
have
about
tails
needing-
dealing
yeah.
with the interrupting the leg
Oh,
space.
you're talking
Yeah.
about lengthwise. I thought you meant widthwise, and I was like, why would it be longer widthwise?
Well, because, you know, I'm the theory there that I put out there was an idea of the vehicles being seats being staggered instead of directly front and back.
Yeah. But I think the Dragon Blade gave a good one. They be like pizzas.
Good night, Jake. Thanks for coming by.
Good night, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
You know, I like... He said triangle shaped.
Yes.
And you said pizzas, and pizzas are typically square or round. You're talking about a pizza slice, which is usually either triangle or square.
Pie. Yeah. Or pie shaped.
I could definitely see the vehicles being more triangular shaped. That could definitely be a solution. However, the problem there is, you know, there's a lot of problems that could arise no matter what design we figure out on this.
Yeah.
Like, if we're trying to make a triangular bus, we would just have these massive things that would take up entire airline, you know, takeoff lane strips and stuff, like for a plane, which would not be ideal.
Also, depending on the dominant furry race, that ends up winning the number war. You could either end up with an 8-point system or a 10-point system.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we largely have a 10-point counting system because we have 10 fingers. So, depending on which race ends up dominating the market, it could be a 8-count system.
Yeah, that's true. As for width, it's ultimately arbitrary, but it has to be based off of something tangible, and I don't see the 2-horse system being replaced by anything, unless we have something other than horses, like land dragons.
It does not necessarily have to be based off of horses or anything. Like, I have seen roads that are wider than others. There are a lot of different road sizes out there.
Yeah. And scary, very tight ones in Europe.
So, as far as that goes, I don't think there is a standard. There's definitely a minimum size, but even that has wiggle room. Good God, does that have wiggle room? There are some roads where they are meant to... Technically, there were some roads in Utah where technically they were meant for 4 cars. 2 on, parking spaces along the shoulders, and then cars going back and forth in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely were not wide enough for that. Sometimes, like, those roads would literally run into situations where people would have to pull into driveways or pull off to the side or something for people to actually drive along them. Everybody avoided them for a reason.
Yeah, the minimum road width would at least have to be a 2-horse carriage.
Why?
Because why would you base it off anything else? What are you basing it off of? A 3-horse? Well, no, you wouldn't make it wider than 2.
Why?
Because after 2, you lose effectiveness. At that point, you're driving a plow.
You keep saying it can't do this, but why? Why could they not use a different system altogether than what we use? Why could they not have wider roads? And why a horse-based system? Like, why? I understand the reasons why they have that in, our world. We're talking about an anthro world and figuring out how things would be different there.
Yeah, but they would still use horses because we're not establishing other animals existing. Unless they don't use horses, period, but then we're opening a can of worms.
There's a big can of worms that is going to be opened on this no matter what, but when you are theorizing something, you never use the word, you never say that something can not be this way. That doesn't work when you are figuring out how something, when you are world designing. You can't say it cannot be this, that, or the other thing. It can be that way.
Right. Now what I'm saying is the most practical and likely, given how things would have to evolve socially, would be a carriage with 2 horses.
Why?
Because it's the most efficient and wisest.
It's the most efficient for humans.
Right, but these animals are the same size.
But we're also talking about things with tails.
Right. They'd still have to use carriages. Why would their carriage? They wouldn't.
Well, like if we're doing triangles, if the vehicles are triangles, then why couldn't they be?
I don't think a triangle design would ever actually happen.
I don't think so either, but
it's a stability thing. It's just like why the 3-wheelers never stuck around.
Oh, I agree. It's unlikely, but it is still something that could be a possibility. Another thing.
Someone's watching you.
What?
Someone's watching you.
A lot of people are watching me.
Yes, but someone who shouldn't be there.
Who?
Look to the left.
What?
Look, in the glass above you.
Oh, a gnome. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I thought that would be interesting. Okay, so continue.
What something that occurred to me might actually be more of like the vehicles might actually be taller rather than wider or longer.
Yeah.
Because a thing that they could do instead is basically the people in the back seats are elevated compared to the ones in the front seat. Wouldn't need to be a huge amount. They have a little space where their paws would rest behind the driver. And then instead of having a trunk in the back, it would be under the passengers in the back seat.
Yeah.
That could be a design that I could definitely see working.
Yeah. As for width, in real life, I'm not even sure the current width we have is the most efficient for cars or not. These social developments are weird.
Ideally,
I mean, for most US cars are probably too wide.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, yeah, we would have walkable cities.
Yeah.
But basing it off of, like, I only really know the U.S. because this is where I've grown up. I've learned
Cities
a lot
outside
about
the US are much more walkable.
Oh, I've heard about that, but I can only really speak for the U.S. itself. I'm far from an expert on other places in the world. because I don't live there. I didn't grow up there. I've learned a lot about them, but when I'm world building this kind of thing, I need to look at it from
So the reason
US.
why the U.S. is the way it is because there was a lot of lobbying from like
Oh, I know.
auto manufacturers and that especially, and like these housing developers to push the suburbs.
Oh,
because it made a like complete reliance on cars.
I understand that. I definitely know that. I've seen the Adam Ruins Everything thing about it. I've done my own research after seeing that. I was like, wait, really? And yeah. But I still base it on how things are right now in the US. Like how society has developed. Where, yes, we have a big reliance on vehicles. But for like a bus, it could just be a simple matter of the, you know, or longer vehicles, you know, more than just the standard car-sized vehicle. They would be taller, and they wouldn't need to be that much taller, but you know, they just climb on up, and there they are. In the back seat is located at a higher altitude than the front seat.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Oh yeah, Chrysops definitely would have more variety for different species. Just like we have so many different varieties of car designs. But looking at things in the way of how it would be, I'm for the sake of keeping this as simple as, because there's no reason to figure out, okay, so mice would work this way, horses would work that way, wolves would work this other way. The general way that things would function is what I'm looking at.
It is interesting to use Zootopia in terms of how a society is formed, because it's very clear that in order for their society to function, they had to separate the economies of different, like, classes of animals. Because...
Yeah...
Yeah.
An elephant-sized something would have to be much more expensive if everything was priced.
Yeah, but it's kind of clear they socialize like food production. So buying a food in the elephant district is way cheaper than in the mice district. Per pound. They're the same size.
Kaji?
Relative. Or
It's
same
great
price
to see you.
relative.
How are you doing, Kaji? I mean, this is, I am going later than I scheduled to, but, you know, not that long a stream for me.
Also, Kaji, it's way too early for you to be awake. Go back to sleep.
Yeah, so, like, one thing that might change, depending on how biology works with anthros, is it might
Hold
be
on,
the
Neon.
death. Sure.
Slickfog, hello there. Welcome on in. I'm doing all right, and yourself? So we're actually having a conversation about how things would, you know, mechanically work for a furry world. Just kind of theorizing about things.
Aw, sorry, Kaji.
Oh, jeez, I am so sorry to hear that.
That's a really early start to construction.
You have a white noise machine.
I think you're only
Kaji?
1 hour ahead.
Didn't Kaji recently, or somewhat recently, move somewhere?
Just said I think they're
Oh.
1 hour ahead of me.
Well, I suppose even if Kaji's in East Coast time, that is still pretty early
He's
start
not East
for.
Coast. I know that much for sure.
So, depending on how biology works, it would make veganism probably a much more hotly debated topic.
Be complete impossibility for some species.
Yes, but they would argue that's not true. Well, not, I shouldn't say they. The fictional vegans would argue that's not true.
I actually, what I have seen of how that works, like I haven't seen all of Beastars, but I actually like the way they handled that concept. Well, okay, I don't like the whole, do you want to eat my finger, man? No, I didn't like that part, but I did
Listen,
appreciate...
baby.
I did appreciate how they came up with a plant alternative for meat that the carnivores could eat.
They did it in the anime.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Just doesn't have the same whole effect.
Yeah, they have stuff that the carnivores could eat, but they couldn't sustain themselves off just that. Eggs are important to the...
But eggs are...
There was a whole episode around the egg sandwiches.
Yes. And that is something that I personally, I could see that working.
Get these guys.
Yeah.
I could very easily see that working. And then there's also the simple fact that even in a world of anthros, there would still be some variety of feral animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they would still have some variety of meat that they could eat.
Yeah. Beastars kind of, though, throws a wrench in that it shows how completely that the society is dysfunctional beneath the surface, and the reason why so many of them can pretend not to eat meat, is that almost all of them are pretending not to eat meat. Even the anime does not truly answer if Lugosi ever ate meat, or if he just chose not to at a later time.
Actually, in the anime, there's a lot of them that don't actually eat meat ever.
You mean like the tiger?
They just outright, like...
I mean, the tiger definitely had.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the tiger did, but...
Yeah, I know.
Like, up to that point, I cannot think of his name, the wolf.
Yeah.
Lugosi.
Zootopia's fish and insects.
Lugosi did not eat meat up to that point. And he
was
was...
like never...
Also, yeah, in Zootopia, fish is the primary meat substitute.
I thought they also, in the extra material, say insects are also big.
Yeah. Zootopia, even, like, the anteater character was just, like, offered for Lugosi to have an ant shake with him later.
Yeah, I could see that working. The food the food question is an easy one to overcome, honestly.
Yeah. Mind you, I don't think it clearly says whether anyone other than, like, Lugosi's arguable, but other than Lugosi, if any of the carnivores never eaten meat before, or if
In
they've all
season-
secretly.
In season 1, there was Albe, the eagle character, who said that he just couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it when he went to the market, but that doesn't mean he didn't get it other ways. And honestly, I wouldn't, even if I ate meat, I wouldn't be able to eat it right off of someone's finger.
When it comes to that, though, that is an easy thing to figure. Like, fish is an easy solution. Insects, those are easy to resolve. Granted,
The
if
fish
we're
and
talking...
Beastars actually talk, though. They're like, even in season 1, he had a class on fish talking, or fish speak.
Yeah, I think fish are anthros.
Well, no, they're not anthros, but they're just intelligent.
In a society like that, though, I still strongly believe that even in a world full of anthros, there would still be some form of feral animal like we have with cows and pigs and such.
Yeah, heck, in early Pokemon, they intended there to be just normal animals. They dropped that later on. They dropped it like a sack of potatoes later on.
I don't think they've
that was only ever in the anime.
Yeah.
Like, the anime was the only place that you ever saw it. They just kind of gloss over the concept in the video games and such. However, they do have situations where, like the Slowpoke tail is a delicacy.
Yep, Farfetch was almost hunted to extinction because it's delicious.
And as much as the anime likes to try and shy away from the topic, the games do not at all, because they absolutely love bringing up about how XY creature
Jaffer,
is...
hold up. Jaffer, you are always welcome to join. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hopeful that you're able to speak again. But if you can only do it through the cards, that is fine. Oh, you mean the game. I mean, to be honest, Kitsu would probably have the first slot on that. He was kind of here first.
Yep.
I mean, you get to do stuff with me way more than you get to do stuff with Jaffer, so...
True.
There are some funny things about Pokemon, like they're all genetically related.
Neon, we're kind of trying to discuss this real quick.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, just invite Jaffer.
Okay. All right, come on in, Jaffer. For the record,
I'm not going to deny the Evoli.
For the record, Jaffer does have some cards, so if you hear it says, if the text-to-speech, which should be set to go through Discord, yes. So if you hear that, please be quiet, because I cannot replay the cards. It'll say, like, Jaffer says. Jaffer, are you actually in-game?
He's probably booting up.
Booting on up.
Oh, hey, you also know them, I see. And he did the exact same thing I had to. Mr. Bubs.
Who's Mr. Bubs? Oh, Jaffer, you got in
you
on
have You have them listed as Tomo as their nickname.
Wait,
as your, like,
you know Tomo?
Yes, they're Declan now, though. But yeah. Yeah, I used to play Left 4 Dead 2 almost every single day with them.
Tomo used to be one of my roommates.
Oh.
He is a very good friend of mine, and actually the one that I refer to quite often when I talk about the state of America's healthcare system.
Rest in peace, his voice, though.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate what happened to that.
Very much so.
He was even louder than Zim. That's easy
Yes,
for anyone to
yes.
believe.
Yes, he was. Especially when I turned off the router on him while he was playing League. I definitely have a lot of gremlin energy at times.
I know that's probably hard for a lot of you to imagine, but he was louder than Zim when he had a voice.
Very much so. Tomo was very, very loud, and Jesus is a small world. Like, you know, or at least somewhat knew Aurum before I did, and now it turns out you know Tomo as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you knew Aurum first.
No, Aurum I met rather recently.
I mean, it's very recently for me, too.
Oh. Aurum made it sound like he's known you for years.
He's probably watched me for years.
Probably. That might be what it is. Aurum gets a little funny like that.
I mean, most people, when they say they know someone, they just say, oh yeah, I know them. But they don't mean that they, like, know them.
When I say it is, yeah, that's a friend of mine. I know them.
Yeah, most people don't use it that way.
Fair. There's a Bulbapedia page about animals in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
It's basically an anime only thing. Like, they never show real world animals anymore.
They do.
They do?
Yeah, there are a few cases.
Like, recently.
Well, there are a few instances.
They gloss over the whole concept of, you know, where did that burger come from?
Yeah, Vespa Queen, her attack order, defend order, and heal order all use BBs, not Pokemon Bs.
Okay, so the whole thing with that is because, like, they still have to communicate with us what it is. They can't use, like, purely in-world terminology, because otherwise it'd just be way too alien to us.
Yeah.
Like, their anime, like, the Pokédex entry is saying it's a dog-like creature. It's mostly there for us, because we know what a dog is. They can't say it's a Growlithe-like creature, because to someone who doesn't know Pokemon, they wouldn't know what the fuck a Growlithe is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the cases are just Generation 1. Most of the cases are just Generation 1 weird stuff, and then there's butterflies are often can be seen in some Pokemon games that aren't butterfly Pokemon. And there are some fish.
And, like, they very strongly hint that there are a lot of Pokemon that are actually used for food. Like, again, the example of Farfetch'd, as well as Miltank. They are used just like cattle in our world are.
Yeah.
But, you know, Pokemon just glosses over that because they don't really want to corrupt their kid-friendly game with that sort of thing.
Yeah. Mind you, after...
Sam, you already have the booster.
What?
You're like investigating it for a while. It's the panel up top that you didn't have. The booster, the underneath part you already had.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't popping up that it was done, so I was...
Well, no, like when you were looking at the bar on the top left was completely empty.
I don't really use that bar.
Fair.
You see, the Pokemon trading card game also had animals existing.
Well, the Pokemon trading card game was specifically a matter of Pokemon aren't real in that. They're just the cards.
Yeah.
So, of course, there wouldn't be... Of course, there would be, you know, actual animals in that.
So it's just interesting how, like, real-life animals have appeared here and there. Not extensively, but the solid idea that there are no real-life Pokemon... that there are no animals kind of got more solidified after the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's boring information, but it's there.
Ta-da.
Though the manga is very interesting in terms of just being totally different from anything Pokemon related.
The second Pokemon popped off, they basically threw it at every single type of media that they could.
Yeah, it's just so weird reading the manga and seeing Pokemon literally killing each other. Mind you, I think they tone that down now, but early on, like, nope, they're dead.
Okay, yeah, you make a good point, Lars, on that front, but I'm more referring to people that know each other. Wait, there was a soccer ball here? Huh. Well, either way.
Either way.
Jaffa, you and I can go clean the gnome fountain.
Oh no, the gnomes
After
are
stream
multiplying.
race.
Okay. Jaffer won't be BRB anyways.
He's back.
Wait, Gnome Fountain.
It's one of the
Oh, you're not
special...
continuing career stuff.
No.
I guess I could join you for the Gnome Fountain since that's up to 6 players.
Alright, go ahead. Honestly, part of why I'm leeryous about inviting others to play with me on the career is that I am loving this game and I don't want to run out of content because I want it to last as long as possible.
Fair. Do challenges.
No. You know, I am actually kind of digging the idea of the tiered cars for Anthros. I think it's a pretty neat and actually a pretty good idea for how it would work.
That reminds me of Theodore Rex.
Granted, cleaning the interior of those would be a nightmare. Especially if the tail area is just an enclosed compartment.
People clean their cars now?
Well, sometimes they get detailed. Not very often, but... Jaffrey, you might get kicked out. Hello there, Maddie. Okay, you guys can join now.
Okay.
Yeah, I do think in Anther World, bugs would be more common.
I think they'd probably be as common as they are in our world.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I mean as food.
Oh, yes. I'm like, bugs more common. They are already very plentiful.
There's no shortage. More common. I don't want to live in Anther World if that's what it costs.
Bugs are very good protein, yes.
Yeah.
For us, it is a terrifying prospect to be eating bugs for most, people, but in that kind of a culture, if you're literally brought up on, yeah, that's part of life, and also they've got them roasted in garlic or this or that, it would definitely be much more acceptable for anthros because that's the norm.
Yeah. Also, don't just eat random bugs, because A, they may not be safe to eat, and B, even if they are, they have to be prepared properly, like worms, for example. I don't know why I'm warning the chat, like they're all of a sudden are like, oh, bugs are good protein, oh yeah, gotta have them.
Can't believe you're influencing them's chat to eat bugs.
I don't know how we got back on eating bugs, but it somehow happened.
You brought us back to that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in my brain, I don't know why that was the detour it took.
Also, Chris, I thought you said you were going to bed.
Yeah, Chris, go to bed.
About 15 times now.
Listen, is it so bad that they want to keep you company in your chat and help mod things for you?
No, that is a good thing. But I also care about his health and well-being.
And to be honest, Sirio, my advice for mushrooms is just don't eat wild mushrooms, period. Just don't bother. Even if you're an expert, don't bother. You know, I kind of dig this fountain, so to speak. I just wish it wasn't gnomes.
Why not?
Because it would be awesome if they were like genies or mermaids.
For werewolves?
Or hot werewolves.
I'm gonna have to ban
not
you
the
if you keep
1940s
bringing those
werewolves. Get those out of here.
Sorry, I forgot. He has to be here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean non-hot.
I can't.
I will wait for no man to speak of werewolves.
No, you can talk about werewolves, just not hot ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's the kind of werewolves we want. Or hot werewolves.
So you'd have to talk about Twilight werewolves. Unrelated. I mean, I guess, Sirio, if you live in an area that has no poisonous mushrooms, it's fine. As long as you know there are no poisonous mushrooms. Sirio Khan's going to get poisoned by a mushroom.
Okay, I am not liking this fountain, but not because of the gnomes, but because the base material that this fountain is made out of looks filthy.
Yeah, it's kind of true. Like, usually your powers, like, strip things to, like, being brand new. It's like a magic water gun. But this thing looked like trash. It apparently always looked like trash.
Also, some of this stuff I'm spraying off looks suspiciously like blood.
Well, you could turn on the detect dirt thing that tells you what it is.
What detector thing?
There's like an option that when you look at dirt, it tells you what kind of dirt it is.
Where?
I don't know, I just know it exists.
As far as I'm aware, it doesn't.
Probably in the settings.
I don't think it exists. Hello, Loss.
an epic Templar.
Thank you for that, Pats SK.
Oh, that's cute, Jaffer. Oh yeah,
That is
that's
very
right,
adorable, Jaffer.
That's right, Jaffer became a father recently.
Yes, he's now he's now Daddy Sugar Volley.
Also, this fountain looks like they want people to jump in it.
How so?
I don't know, it's just giving me cool vibes and I don't know why.
It's a decoration.
Yeah.
I definitely do not get vibes of they want people to jump in it.
Do you think this stage has a secret gnome?
As far as I know, they do. Sugar Volley Daddy? Is that Jaffer?
I'm not sure those words should go together.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh, by the way, one of my mods, could I get a shout out for Okitsu, please? I forgot to have that done earlier, but I do need a shout out done for Okitsu. Thank you, Lars. Everybody should go check out Okitsu. He's the well, he's right over there. But he's also been hanging out on Voice Air. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I am now more even. I want to be in a Anthro world even more now. Not just because, you know, the whole furry thing, but because I feel like I just feel like they would have to give more leg room.
Jaffa says, BRB, feeding baby and raven.
All right, Jaffer.
Yeah, more legroom would definitely be a dream. I didn't know toilets came in different sizes until very recently.
Oh yeah, I've had a very wide range of different sized toilets.
Yeah, did you know they don't have to feel incredibly small?
Yep. I know with the legroom thing, when I was living with my grandparents, there was a time where the van had to go into the shop for a while because they hit a deer. And my grandma was very particular about making sure that they got the same sized vehicle as before because, well, I would be sitting in the back and needing to, you know, I would need this leg room.
Yeah.
Well, the insurance company did not. They did not listen at all. They gave us a Jeep. I don't know what model of Jeep, but I will never own a Jeep because frickin' every single one of them I've ever been in is so goddamn tiny. But this one in particular, I could not sit normally in the car at all. I could not fit into the front seat at all. And even sitting in the back seat, the way we solved it was I literally sat sideways with my legs up on the seat in the back. Definitely far from safe, but it was the only way that I fit into that vehicle. And hey there, JCat99, thank you very much for that follow. I hope Kaji was able to get some more sleep.
Yeah, it would be good.
I think Kaji's been quiet, so I'm hoping he fell asleep.
Joke.
Oh wait, Kaji's right there. Let's see here. You were gone for like 3 hours because you suddenly needed to go take care of something. This vanished when I was still in the middle of D&D. Yeah, that's alright. We ended the battle in the middle of it. Yeah, Kaji, I was scrolling up and realized, oh, I missed a message about how Kitsu is a good bean. Yes, Kitsu is a very good bean. And JCat,
I try to be a good bean. But supposedly I'm a bully.
Well, yeah, you are a bully, but you're still a good bean. You can be both.
I don't know about that.
Well, I have spoken, so your argument is invalid. But JCat, I am 6'6". I really hope you are able to get some good sleep in, Kaji. You know who else is a good bean? Kaji. Can I get a shout out for Kaji?
Yeah, Kaji has so many good and cute emotes.
Oh, I'm doing all right,
Talented
Maddie.
artist.
How are you? Kaji is a very talented artist. I want art from Kaji.
Oh, it was good art. Maybe I'll commission art from Kaji.
I don't think Kaji takes commissions anymore.
Oh. I understand.
Sometimes. It usually is on a stream where it says, hey, this is a commission stream, but they're very rare. Actually, while he's behind all stuff right now.
Yeah, you all should check out Razem. He's not appreciated enough.
Nah, I'm fat and ugly. Don't worry about it. Aren't your raffles on Tuesdays, Kaji?
He usually does like one raffle per art stream. Well, depending on like the day and everything. But there are like sometimes dedicated raffle streams when he hits like 300 gift subs.
Hey there, Lyndon.
Or if he's doing a theme thing, like his Halloween stream.
I just have limited time. I never get to attend art streams, and I enjoy attending them a lot.
Hey, maybe you'll win the raffle. Unless it's a paid raffle, in which case never mind.
I will often... Most days that I see you streaming before I get started, Kaji, I go in, I say hi. But every time I see you streaming when I get going, I've got a tab open and lurking for you. But I just don't have the time to participate like I'd love to.
Yeah, this is usually where I'd say I watched his stream and then make up what I saw. No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, no, it's the way that I kind of wind up doing stuff is... Like, I do the same with Vox. I talk in his streams every now and then, but when he's streaming, I almost always have his channel up on a tab and just lurking for him for an extra viewer while I'm also going.
Do you leave footprints in this game?
No. Those are from somebody else walking through here.
Burglar.
Yes, somebody burgled the fountain.
Stole the witches. You know, this thing reminds me of that building that was covered in manure. It's like this thing came to life and just, instead of water, the manure sprayed out.
What?
The temple. It was part of a freak hurricane that covered the whole temple in manure.
And where did you get this whole thing?
this game.
Yeah, you completely misunderstood what happened there.
I thought they had a freak tornado or hurricane that...
It was a tornado.
Yeah. That covered their entire temple in manure.
It hit the farm nearby. The nearby farms, it hit their manure pile, picked up all the manure, and deposited it onto the temple.
Yeah.
But not a hurricane, and not whatever fountain that was apparent that you said was shooting out manure?
This one.
I don't think this is manure.
No.
I don't really lurk for the... I lurk because I want to help my friends, Lyndon. I don't even... Kaji, do you even have a channel point redeem for art?
Yes, there's the 50k for the heart sticker, 100k for just like a sticker of your choice, or like a headshot or something, and then like 200k for like a ref sheet or like some crazy full body thing that you want.
Oh, well, I guess I'll be able to get that eventually.
I have to go look at it specifically, but something like that.
I just do it to... I didn't even realize that was a thing, but, yeah, I guess that is a way to get art from Kaji.
Yep. I'll be having a cozy sticker whenever he's supposed to be doing that. I can't remember. I think he's doing the redeems this week. I can't remember, though.
Lars, no, I have not. I'm not actually in Rygon's Discord.
Too many Discords. Ah.
Yeah, exactly.
Must consolidate the streamers.
I would love to do that.
He has to be an affiliate for that.
I have to be a partner for that.
Sorry, partner.
Wait, why do you have to be a partner to consolidate Discords?
I think Neon is thinking of the Twitch teams, not Discords, but I wanted to get a Discord going with all of those that are my friends and, you know, kind of a community Discord, but I know everybody wants their own Discords, and I can respect that. I mean, after all, I've had ZGF Gaming's frickin' ever. But, like, especially for newer streamers, they really shouldn't be starting off with a Discord. I would ideally make a Discord where it's like, okay, this is a group Discord for all these different communities, and consolidate viewers, get a, like, especially in situations like Kitsu, you, myself, Tiger, Kaji, we share a lot of viewers. Granted, I'm not saying we only have those, but like Rygon in particular, he was really tiny before I started doing stuff with him, and now he's grown a bit, but he still doesn't quite have the traction to warrant an entire Discord for his streams. Lyndon, I think you're in that same boat. Sark is, a few others. But having things consolidated like that really does just help. Because someone may discover, like, my stream and go in there and be like, oh, well, Zim's not online, but this Rygon guy is.
I like Rygon. He's one of the...
Then the moment Zim starts streaming, hey, traders, get back in here.
Yeah, Rygon's
I
one
have
of
stopped doing that, Kitsu. Thank you very much.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Rygon's one of the people who I watch, and I don't care what he's playing. I go to his streams for him.
I know when I first started streaming, I had plans for ZGF being exactly what I'm talking about, but ZGF, when I first started streaming, was already a sizable community on its own. So it wasn't really, but I didn't have traction with Twitch itself for that sort of thing, so I gave up on that idea very quickly. Hey there, Screaming Death. And Maddie, you have until Sunday morning to grind on some art. During the day on Sunday, you won't have a lot of time to do art. Your sister and your boyfriend are coming over on Sunday? Ah, well, nice. I hope that goes well. Yes, SK. Tiger is in Tiger 2 Wild, not you. Sorry.
Jaffa says, okay, Raven fed, Octavia fed, Jaffa has food. Rorschach family fed.
But what about Zim? Does anyone ever think about Zim having food?
Let me check if his food's open.
It's not. That doesn't open for like another like 4 hours, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because my food stuff's open for myself.
Are you saying you're a streamer?
Maybe.
No.
The treat stream is not open for several more hours.
Yeah, Treat Stream is open for a very specific time, even if like those services are still going.
Oh.
And it's based on Eastern time too, which sucks for the West Coast people.
Yeah. Because I can get McDonald's delivered right to my door right now.
To be fair, the reason they have it that way is because of the fact that late night people tend to, it tends to be very hit or miss on whether the order will actually go through.
Yeah.
And
Well,
done.
yeah, but like it stops at like 11 p.m. for Eastern.
I don't believe
Which
it's
is 8
that
for-
early.
It's 11 p.m. for Eastern time. Because I could have sworn that's what the time was when I looked at it.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I know there's a burrito place where I live where I learned that if I want good burritos, I have to order it early, like at lunch. Because what I found out is they don't like throw away their tomatoes once they stay old. They just open it at the start of the day, and if by the end of the day it's not gone, then it's not gone.
Okay.
In other words, they start the day with fresh ingredients and they end the day with not fresh.
But back on the subject of the Discords, I know I am planning to... I've been planning for a while to sit down and come up with guidelines and such for posting streams in the ZGF Discord. Stuff that's not quite as restricted as I had them before. Like, I don't want people that aren't even involved with ZGF or my streams or such just posting willy-nilly in there, like a lot of those other Discords have. But like Kitsu, you, Tiger Too Wild, Kaji, Fox, friends of the channel, Rygon, Linden, you could all, well, Rygon's in bed most likely, but Linden, you were out there a moment ago. You guys could post as well. I just want to come up with a clear set of guidelines, and I haven't had the time to sit down and think and figure that out. Something that would be fair for people. I know a lot of people have those promote yourself kind of things, but I mean, one, promoting yourself in a Discord that you're not active in doesn't really work. Or with a community that you're not active with. It just doesn't.
Yes, Kaji, cover him in Kaji's.
All the Kaji sticks. Oh, Gavon, hello there. But that's something that, like, part of why I don't actually post with, I think you've got one of those channels, Kitsu, and
Dude,
I know
I
Tiger
don't have a
does.
promotions channel.
Okay.
Kaji.
Kaji does?
Yeah.
I'm always wary about posting in other streamers' promotion channels, even if I have access, though. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm worthy of this.
I know
unless they
some
outright
people
say
that
so.
watch me pay attention to Kaji, so I was like, I guess I'll use Kaji's promotion thing. Or, like, Kaji pays more attention to his promotions thing. Like, his actual, like, Twitch live. So, like, I think Kaji has actually noticed me streaming because of it.
Alright, see ya, SK.
Just because Kaji's following a lot of people, so it is hard to just know who is just by looking over at the list sometimes.
It would definitely be something that I manually assign access to.
Yeah. Is there a way to actually check how many channels
Or
you are
you could just
following?
do what some Discords do and just create a bot and have the people that you also want people to know about just be like, hey, this person's live.
I will never do that.
Well, with their permission, of course.
Well, no, I will not do that because I honestly don't like it myself. That is not something that I really want to have. Like, I've had some people that were like, hey, you want me to promote your channel with it? I'm like, no, I'd rather promote my channel myself. It's like, I go out of my way with the live images and everything. I don't expect everybody to do that. But I just do not want... I don't like bots posting those things. Like...
That's fair.
Others can do it. Go for it. I know Scratched has it set up where he's got a bot that posts me, and I don't really complain about it, but I also don't like it. I'd rather post it myself. I just have, I just have, those I know that I lurk for. Basically, the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed, I am streaming. Well, I can't say that. I do have some wind down time, but that's also for... Usually I am done being social for the day. Because believe it or not, I am actually an introvert more than I am an extrovert. I'm a little of both, but definitely more of an introvert.
Also, you mostly talking to yourself is a lot different than having a bunch of people audibly talking to you.
True. Lars, I thought I replied, but go ahead and send it to me. And yeah, exactly, Ogilvon. I personally, for me, like in ZGF, I would want it to be personal, a more personal, you know, even if it is just copy pasted from what they posted in their own Discord and stuff. I would rather them actually take the effort to go post in my Discord instead of just, okay, bot, do your thing.
So what do you think of the fountain now?
Still looks dirty. I can do that, Sirio, but the first off, that is limited on how many channels I can post or have posted or other Discords. Like you noted, you probably would have noticed, I've got two separate gaming news channels because there's I ran out of slots in the first one, and I don't really want to make a bunch of live channels for that. And I don't know, to me it kind of feels it still lacks that personal touch. Yeah, I think you can only host like 8 of them. You know, have 4 or 8 channels that are forwarded. It's weird that they even have a limit on that. Like, why? I could just make a dozen different I can make an infinite number of channels, but I can only follow like 8 of them in one channel. Especially when most places that actually use that announcement system don't actually they don't actually post very often. Like, most of those gaming news channels don't have anything posted for several days at a time, and then suddenly there's something from one of the channels I follow, and it gets posted in there, and that's it. And then other days, you've got, like, Dwarf Fortress had 3 or 4 in the same day. But then again, that was also when they were announcing the actual release date for the Steam version, so that was kind of a special little event sort of situation.
Which I assume you're looking forward to.
Very much so. Did you not see the common room?
Yeah, I'm in the common room. Which
well, you wouldn't have to assume if you were in the common room.
Do you already have the money saved up for it?
I do not.
Unwavering
Mainly
purpose.
because I have no idea how much it's going to cost. And I don't think they've announced that yet.
No, and I have no idea.
I'm kind of anticipating it being around the $30 mark. Sylveon, the Furry. Hello there, and thank you very much for that follow. Welcome on in. How the heck are ya? I would say Dwarf Fortress is worth, you know, the $60 AAA price. But I also don't see them actually charging that much.
No, probably not. There'd be too much expectations put on a AAA price as it is.
I mean, as it is, Dwarf Fortress has already surpassed the AAA AAA expectations.
Yeah, a lot of mainstream audience expects a certain like graphics quality and that though for $60 though.
That is fair, but
yeah, I'm not saying the expectations are fair.
Content-wise, Dwarf Fortress definitely has far more than most AAA games.
I mean, there's a lot of like $15 indie games that have more content than AAA games.
That's fair.
Yep.
Which is why I don't anticipate them actually charging that much, but they may be worth it, doesn't mean they're going to charge that much. Just look at Vampire Survivors, where the community had to bully them to get them to raise their price. Yeah, Ogilvon, the mainstream audience is... Ugh. Fans tend to ruin things. I will definitely
Metroid
say...
Dread, fantastic game. Mainstream audience. Why doesn't this game have super amazing graphics? Not worth the price.
Divinity Original Sin. Why aren't there waypoints? Well, they specifically sold it on there not being waypoints, and you needing to use your brain to actually sell the no waypoints. But I mean, it's why you bought the game, I assume. But here it's not.
It's kind of like why I keep... It is a large portion of why I keep struggling to get into Final Fantasy XIV is the fans.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love Guild Wars 2, and I will tell you why till I'm blue in the face. But I also know that it has flaws. And I will outright tell them to people and such. I form objective opinions about things rather than like it because I say so. Because I insist it's fun.
Well, I mean, you always could like something for no reason.
Well, yes, I could, but I still have my objective opinion on why I like things, or struggle to like things, or dislike things.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what's the worst game I actually like.
Nice, Maddie. I really hope they like it. Not every fan is bad, Ogilvon. But I have run into a lot that are.
Yeah. In fact, finding a good fan base can make something feel even better. Like, when I first joined Ultima Online, it had such a tight community, at least the server I was on had such a tight community that I just bumped into people I remembered and say, hey buddy, glad to see you again. And then years later I rejoined Ultima Online, it just wasn't the same.
Like, one of my biggest struggles when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV is I'm like, this new player experience is awful. That is something that is just, it's... Compared to everything else, the new player to other games, it's a fact, not even an opinion. But when you say something like that, the fanboys get pissed off at you. And they'll get pissed off at you even while they're agreeing with you on that. They're like, yes, but you're wrong.
Yeah. It's also a little weird given that, like,
Jaffa
even
says,
the game...
I like this game. I can go AFK to care for family without it being bad.
Yeah, so as I was saying, it's a bit weird given that even the game developers agree with you, Zim, that the early game is an old paradigm. It's why they give you so many options to skip it.
But then you got some fans that are like, no, if you skip it, you're not going to understand the later story, and it's going to be missing out on all this stuff, so you have to do the early game. But also, the early game sucks. But you should put in the 100 hours to get to the later stuff. Why am I having to pay for this?
Yeah. It's kind of the biggest problem with MMORPGs is the when it gets good situation. I've never seen a video game ever try to excuse the it's boring now, but just wait until the end game. And get away with it.
Actually,
Pokemon's
Deafened, it is somewhere around 40 to 60 hours or more. Like, I have put in and rushed through without paying any attention to the story. I tried to push my way through as fast as possible through A Realm Reborn. Granted, I'm a new player and not, an older player where they would know the best route to go for everything. But I still have done this. And I am about 60 hours in on one of my on my series there, and I'm still not to the fun part.
Well, and to be honest, the early story isn't that good.
Oh, it's terrible.
Like, I was a healer, and the story is mind-numbing. I have to, listen to how this, healer in my group doesn't heal the way the man wants her to, and how she's actually wrong. And it's like, I don't care. It'd be cool if she could heal her own way.
It is a definite struggle on that front, and it's like, I really want to see this good part, but I am also having to pay $15 a month for the privilege of being able to try to get to the fun part. I have had some fans that were objective about this, that helped me to get interested. But then, it's sad when I could talk to my own freaking boyfriend about politics easier than I can about politics and religion easier than I can about Final Fantasy XIV. Because he gets upset over my opinions on it, and what I guess would technically still be considered an opinion, but when even the developers share that opinion, I think it would be closer to fact at that point. I have lost friendships over Final Fantasy XIV, and that also does not help me want to actually try it again.
Ugh.
But I also, I do want to see this fun part that everybody tells me about. This good part.
Yeah, losing friends is why I don't play Warframe anymore.
Wait, how can people get upset with Warframe?
I'm not really upset with Warframe myself, but I will say I have not really tried it. I tried it once, and the friend that got me to try it basically just rushed me through everything, and I had no freaking clue what was going on. He was... I don't even I did not I had so little idea what was going on. I don't even remember if they had rooms or whatever, but I know he took me to something my very first time, and I was just sitting there trying to catch up to him as he was freaking light years ahead of me.
Yep.
And so for me, like, that's not a problem of Warframe, though. So I don't put Warframe down or anything. It's just that was an experience that I don't want to repeat.
See, for me, it's like Warframe has a fun gameplay loop, but they come out with content way too slow. And no, I don't count new Warframes as content. Because most of those Warframes, you level them up once, and then you're just like, okay, on back to my main.
I will also say one downside is you can't grow on Twitch from streaming MMOs. In fact, they are usually more of a detriment to your channel than they are. Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, you want to try? Yeah.
Listen, I like playing WoW. I know. It's awful, but you know.
Well, for me, it's it's Guild Wars 2. I want to do it on stream more, but I know that it would be more of a detriment to the channel than it would do anything to help.
Yeah, because usually MMOs have the visual appeal of mud.
Ogilvon, I want to... So the thing is, getting big with MMOs is tricky. If you'll notice, Asmongold basically only streams World of Warcraft.
I don't know, I think he reacts to the stuff more than anything.
That's where he got his growth. His biggest growth was that he was just a World of Warcraft player.
Yeah.
And he had a focus on his channel. So it is possible. But it would mean, like, for me to be able to get anywhere with it, it would mean that I would have to completely focus on the MMO. Doing multiple MMOs only works in very unique circumstances. Josh Strife Hayes, for example, does a lot of variety MMOs. However, for him, he is playing all of these different MMOs in a way, like he's got his worst MMO ever series that he does. So for him, that's how he's able to do that. But for me, it would not work with my channel in the way that I do my channel. I would have to give up the tabletop stuff. I would have to... My focus would need to be the MMO. And even then, your success... when you get big enough, it doesn't matter if the game that you got big on stays successful. Like, Asmongold was able to go over to FF14 when all the nonsense was going on. And I think he returned to... Like, I don't really follow Asmongold. I've just looked into these things. I've researched these things. When I'm not streaming, I'm usually researching stuff. I'm usually looking up on, okay, so this is what's been going on here, here, and here. This is the latest drama in the gaming industry. Oh, this is an interesting game coming up. I'll add it to my follow list, etc., etc. But in the case of... I think Asmongold has returned to WoW. I don't know, though. But his focus of his channel is MMOs. And that is where he got his success. Kind of like how Ninja got his success because of Fortnite. And, well, more specifically, he got his success from, you know, a celebrity coming to play with him, but that's a whole other thing. Also, I love how many Ninja clones there are out there. How many people put Ninja in their name now on Twitch. I've been noticing it a lot.
I mean, ninjas have always been popular.
Yeah,
that's another thing that was helpful. He just got lucky on getting that name early.
True, true.
I'm saying he didn't put the work in, but he did get lucky on getting that name because it makes it a very searchable and easy to find name.
Yeah. But at the same time, considering the tips for new streamers thing that he put out, I don't think he actually put in the work to be where he is. Because
I saw
so
a
much
video about that. It was kind of laughable. His like $80 course on becoming a successful streamer.
Uh-huh.
It was even more than that. I can't remember how much it was. It was pretty ridiculous stuff.
If he followed his own course, he would definitely not be a big streamer. If that's the only thing that he followed. But he had so many huge no-nos in that. But that's beside the point. Where was I on all this?
I don't know.
Oh, let's see.
Why these guys are exceptions to the MMO rule rather than the rule is, I think, the topic.
Really, so Lars here, really, you only picked up FF14 because of a certain streamer you used to watch, but then they declared you an annoying creeper because you were appearing near them too much while streaming or something. you just kind of gave up on the game for a long while after that before Hauerbus picked it up, and you would play together for a while, but then you largely lost interest again when he stopped giving the game attention. Yeah. Wernimal, hello there! I disagree on that one, Ogavon. Holy crap, that was a delayed route. What the heck is going on with things today?
We got a
Veritable
gremlin.
sent that like a minute ago and it just did the route.
Oh, I think I see the gnome.
Yes, there are a lot of gnomes.
No, I mean the gnome.
Which one? There are a lot of them.
The gnome. The names.
They're all gnomes.
The one that's a gnome rather than just being a statue of a gnome. Well, I guess it is a statue.
They're
of a
all.
gnome.
Oh my god, Neon.
Oh, come on, I can't be speaking a different language. Kitsu, you have to know what I mean. Nah, I'm not gonna drag him into this.
You literally just did drag him into this.
That's true, but he didn't have to respond. He can be quiet. I meant the gnome you could put in your garden gnome. I think
You
I
mean
see
a
it on
lawn
top.
gnome or a garden gnome or whatever
Yeah.
local term?
Yeah, I think I see the stage's garden gnome.
Where would that be?
I think it's on top.
The one on top is just one of these gnomes, but with a crown.
Never mind then.
Well, it's a crown hat. Yeah, Sim jumps on top instead. There you go.
Ah.
So
Lower
maybe this
full
stage,
floor.
maybe this stage has no garden gnome. Because it's all about gnomes.
It does have a gnome.
Oh, where?
It has a bunch of them. Do you not see them?
No, I see the gnomes. I meant the other kind of gnome. The gnomes you've been seeing up until now.
It has gnomes.
Yeah.
Is this the dirty one?
This is the one. There's a tiny sliver in the top left.
Oh.
Alright. There we go. It's done.
So it looks like you just cannot redo the special ones if you've already done, or if you've done it, until you've done a different one?
What? There's a restart job option.
Oh yeah, I guess there is. I don't know. It's just being weird.
It's just that, well, that's one you've completed. Although, I'm not sure why they claimed that and the mini golf course aren't included. I don't know, the specials are just weird, I guess.
There, we can go redo this. Why will it end the current Ugh, fine.
Man, I'm done.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Oh. Jaffer, are you done too?
Then look what time it is.
Oh yeah, I guess it is time to be done. But I started a Stream Raiders battle. Oops. I'll just start it early and get it done with. We'll lose it, but that'll probably be.
Zen, before you
helpful for the
leave
next
that
one.
though, you should clean up the 12 skips, the 12 stepstones first.
Why?
There's an achievement to have the stepstones be the first thing you do.
Really?
Yes.
Is it a pun?
No, they just have a bunch of bullshit achievements like that. Some of them are to do a specific thing last, which is awful because you can't just enter a free play and get it over with real fast.
Well, let's hope that this counts on the free play side, because I went.
It does. I did it on free play. You can't replay the career missions.
You can't free play the what?
You can't replay the career missions. Unless, like, you clear your save.
Oh, okay.
Oh, even if you beat the game?
You can't do it in career mode. You can only do it in free play, if you want to replay them.
Oh.
I might have the achievement already, but
You might have done, like, the fence door or something first.
Now that you're doing the 12-step program...
First steps.
Yeah.
In the backyard, complete all 12 stepping stones first. Okay. Like, what the hell is that thing? Oh! It's the mayor's cat!
Yep.
I didn't realize that the cat was here the first time. I was kind of looking down at stuff. Oh,
Now,
are you the one that bought it, Zeppy Boo? I noticed that the number went up. I didn't know who bought it though, because it doesn't. As far as I know, there's no way of seeing who did it when they do it offline. But thank you so much for that, Zeppy Boo. I really appreciate it. For those wondering what we're talking about, it's this little guy right here. You can pick up this warrior skin for yourself and support the channel, as well as help us unlock our next skin, which we are only 19 skin points away from. So do consider helping out with that. We are definitely going to lose this battle, but we are going to be done, and it'll help us out with the next stream.
At least we won in our hearts.
Yes, Danica just completely changed their sleep schedule because they used to raid me pretty early. Now they're like still streaming when I'm going to bed nowadays.
It is very easy to stay up later. It is very hard to go to bed earlier.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so very much for coming by today and hanging out with me. I appreciate you all so much. We will be finding somebody to raid shortly, but check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. It is because of your support that I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you all. I really cannot do this without your guys' help and support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, picking up packs through stream loots, or by simply coming over and hanging out with me. And I appreciate you all so much for that, and I hope to see you next time. But for now, I bid you all the most fondest adieu. Have a great night, everybody. /day/ whatever it may be.